Welcome to the Seriously Social podcast with your host, Simone Douglas. Today's guest is Dan Kuss from Strengths Academy. He chats with Simone about parenting, working to your strengths, and his best tips for personal growth.
Welcome to this episode of Seriously Social. Today we are joined by the fabulous Dan Kuss from Strengths Academy.
Good morning.
Good morning. So Dan, perhaps if we can just start off with the Cliff Notes version of how you find yourself on the tan chairs today.
The Cliff Notes version, without anything beige on too, by the way, which was a good warning.
It was a good warning because it tended to blend into the background otherwise.
So how did I get here? The short version would be that for 20 years I had my own design and marketing business. Mm-hmm. The bit I loved about it the most was the communication with clients. Conversations didn't take long to stray from sales and marketing to management, HR, relationships. Yeah. I've found that our problems follow us around, right? So if you're having challenges at home, you have challenges at work, and we tend to portray our challenges on everyone else. So before you knew it, with my clients, everything was on the table. All the conversations, all the things, all the challenges were on the table, and that was the meat that I loved getting into. So pretty quickly got into coaching, tooled up, learnt the trade, and here I am.
And here you are.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most common excuse that people give you for why their lives or businesses are difficult?
Blaming other people.
Yeah, that's really...
It was not me, it was them, it was the government, it was my partner, it was my child, it was my school, it was my childhood.
Yeah.
Some of those are valid. But we need to let go of the baggage at some point and take charge, right?
Yeah, so I have a golden rule that you have to have a use-by date for your story.
I love that.
The only person that can give you that use-by date is you.
Yes. But
you do have to have the use-by date. And I think, and you would be, so if you hang out with a lot of really successful people too,
right.
There's no conversations about excuses.
No, it doesn't last long. It's a little bit like one of my mates who, he hosts dinner parties. He's in the wine industry.
Yeah.
If someone comes around with a crappy bottle of wine, he's like, thanks, leaves it on the table. You can pick it up on your way out. So crappy wine's not allowed into the dinner party, and I think that old conversations, old excuses, old poor me's are not allowed into current life. We need to get rid of them and move on.
Yeah. So one of the things that you are accredited in is the gallup strengths.
Correct.
Which I absolutely love. So I found it not that long ago, but it just gave me so much insight into the other people on my team that I needed to recruit to make up for the things that I really sucked at. So what is the benefit? What is Gallup Strengths all about, and how is it helpful?
Good question. Gallup Strengths really is founded on about 100 years of research and data, and it's all about the pursuit of excellence, like in humanity, so that we can live better lives, doing more of what we love. For about 30 years now, they've had a survey, and you've done the survey, which helps us identify what our natural talents are, what we're naturally good at. They strongly believe that our best chance of success is by capitalising on the things we're already good at. So if you're 6'4" and you know how to aim a basketball,
play basketball.
Basketball. Maybe not into Formula One. Do you know what I mean? Like capitalise on the things that you're good at.
Yeah.
The challenge with school, and I always get kicked, when I talk about this, is that we get taught at school to be well-rounded.
Yeah.
But no superstar is well-rounded. Even Elon Musk, he spends all day engineering.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's his
that's
thing.
where he lives.
He's built two businesses so that he can do what he loves, which is engineering and numbers. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me though, because I'm not well-rounded. I've got 3 businesses, and all I like to do is network, connect people to people. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I'm still thinking about how I can do that when I'm at home. And I don't like to watch television because it feels like a complete waste of time to me. But sometimes I will sit and watch television with my kids because that's important. But I actually have to actively activate things in my head to make me take the time. So
how do you manage sitting down and being focused and present with your kids when your brain's ticking away with a million things on your mind?
I taught them a catchphrase that activates a different thought pattern in my head. So they will come to me and go, Mum, can I have your full attention, please?
Ooh,
and that's code for me to go, it's time to parent now.
Yeah.
So you need to be fully present.
Yeah.
And it happened because they were in the other room all the time going, Mum, Mum, and he'd be like, Jesus Christ, can you just... and then I caught myself in the other room yelling out to them, and it worked out that, okay, I created this pattern of behaviour, so now I need to unpack it. So we had a family rule that you're only allowed to talk to someone if you're in the same room as them.
I like it.
And the second one was if you wanted to talk to someone and you actually wanted them to participate in that conversation, that you had to ask for their full attention first. So
yeah, and that's kind of like saying, hey Siri, devices off please.
Yeah.
It's like everyone shut down, put everything down, focus. Who's got the conch? Let's engage. Because at the moment, I mean, I watch my kids and they're on Xbox. They've got one hand on an iPad. They're on House Party on their device.
Yeah.
How can they be on anything with full attention?
Well, and you can't. It's been fascinating because my eldest has started high school now, so he's gone from Steiner education, which is very no tech, and very present and very in your body when you're doing things, to Nord Morialta, where it's here's your school laptop, here's your mobile phone because I'm going to have to pick you up from down the street.
Yep.
And it hasn't gone well.
No, you've got to be very strict and consistent with those things.
I was very unpopular. I installed a thing called Sentinel on his computer and firewalled every social media account.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. My IT person did.
So you took charge of the decision, right?
Yeah, well, because he'd been at school for a week and his teachers were like, he's distracted in class, he's YouTubing, he's talking to his friends in Arizona because it's nighttime over there. And that's the other thing is like they have a global stage. They have networks that we never thought of.
It's crazy. And even if you shut down social, they're on they're gaming with
Discord and Twitch and
it's crazy. So there's almost a need to be able to throw a noose around that stuff. And if we're going to bring it back to talents and strengths, how do you recognise what their natural needs are?
Yeah.
And how do you use what your natural talents are to manage that? Because one of my talents, and it's not always a strength, is activator, right? Which means I get impatient real quick. So I go from please get off your device to and it's almost a frisbee off the balcony in 10 seconds, right? And I know we've all been through that.
Yeah.
But children do what we do, not what we say.
Yeah.
So pretty soon they'll be throwing things of ours off the balcony.
Exactly.
And modelling our behaviour. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's also no different if you take it out of a parenting context and into a workplace. When things aren't working within my business, within the teams, the first person that I look at is me. I go, okay, where did I break the culture? Because it comes from the top. And yet you'll see people, all the time that struggle to get a culture within the workplace that is a culture of accountability and self-reflection and ownership. What kind of advice would you give to business owners or CEOs that are sitting there and they go, my culture's broken. I can see that it's broken. Now what?
Yeah, so great question. Something that I learned, and this is a bitter pill to swallow from one of our trainers, is that the mirror is always up.
Yeah.
Which means, if something's going on, you need to look in the mirror because it's probably coming from you, as you said, with leadership and leading from the top down. So we want to bring it back to basics and identify why we're in that leadership position. What is it about that leadership role? Did we get it by earning it? Did we get it from a favour? Is it because, in your case, you love the business, you love working with people, you love serving people, you love community, all those kind of things. How do you then pick that up and replicate it by treating your team like your community?
Yeah.
Because isn't it interesting how you're in a supermarket and you bump into someone in the aisle and you kind of go, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But then at home, when you're making dinner, if the kids get in the way, they get brought out.
Yeah.
Why do we treat strangers better than we treat people that we love?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And a good one to look at on a
Exactly.
regular basis.
Yeah.
Regular basis.
Mirrors up.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of funny. So we've just moved house this week and we're in the middle of ripping up floorboards and painting, which wasn't part of the plan, but me being me and being an activator and very big at the executive decision level. And I was like, this, thanks. So I'm not the most popular girl at home currently because we're sleeping on a mattress on the floor this week, which wasn't the plan. But yeah, one of the things is, I had to make up for the decisions, if that makes sense. So there had to be a payoff and some negotiation around, I've done this and this, but I've also organised for the data cables to run to the TV so that your Premier League football plays without any lag.
Right, so that's an incentive for the discomfort.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
also, I want to pick up something you said before. You said it wasn't part of the plan.
No.
Quite often as an activator, we don't have a plan.
Yeah.
Because we just like, go.
Yeah.
All right, everything pulled up. Why did we pull it up? What are we doing? How do we keep everyone happy while we work out why we started this project in the first place?
That's exactly where I found myself this week.
So how are you coping with that?
I think okay in that Alex and I have been together for nearly 5 years now, and we work really well together because we're both really calm. Mm-hmm. So he just goes, okay, you've done it. So here are all the steps that you've missed, and these are the things that we now need to fix or put in place. And so he sounds terrible, but he's really good at mopping up the messes that I create. And rolling with it. And he's also fantastic at flying by the seat of his pants. Right. So between the two of us, we tend to really rely on the very robust networks that I've built as well. So being able to pick up the phone and say to the flooring guy, hey, any chance you can lay floors like this week? Yeah. Or the electrician or the whatever. So I think having those robust networks where and I was talking to Hazel Walker about this the other day, you have to work in your network before you need your network. Right.
And also, isn't it network, not net sit or net eat, as we say at BNI?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people rock up for the free ride and then they wait for the benefits, but they don't always turn the handle.
No, exactly. Yeah. So I think I spend it, because my favourite thing to do is to turn the handle and go, oh, let me introduce you to this person. Or you guys should work together, or let's all go have lunch and make friends. Yeah. That then when I call in the favour, I get the knowing kind of smile that says, yes, for you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like I was talking to Dion, the tiler, I rang him. I said, I know you do really big commercial jobs, but the builder has told me I should really get all these tiles just resealed because it will give us the 2 years till we reno. And he's like, for you. For you.
But you've earned that right for him to say, for you.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the line, you've built up the bank. You've put... sort of love and reciprocation in the bucket, so it's easy to share it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's, my best piece of advice is people need to do that.
Right.
They need to go out and so my golden rule is I try to do 3 things each day. So one is I try and do 3 things for each of my businesses that move them forward in whatever aspect that looks like. I try and solve somebody else's challenge once a day. So like one person, I need to solve a challenge that they've got. And I try and, rain some sunshine on people. So they random acts of kindness. And if I can manage to do all 3 of those things in a day, it's been a successful day. That
sounds amazing. And the whole idea of raining on some sunshine gets back to the bucket filling. Right? So there's philosophy of, if you fill people's buckets, it fills yours as well. If we spend our day going around looking for what's wrong, it's kind of stealing of us of our positive love and light as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the other thing, part of the reason why you're doing so well is that obviously you've recognised that differences are advantages. Okay, so you get things started, someone else comes and finishes it. Yeah. Maybe Alex is like, tie her hands behind her back before she starts another project.
He's sometimes like that.
But he's good at coming in and finish it off. So you've got this team of people who do all kinds of amazing things to contribute to a bigger whole, a better team, a better outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is a good spot to end on. But Dan, you have had a really interesting business journey and evolution, and probably personal journey and evolution that goes along with that, because I don't think you can have one without the other.
Correct.
So if you were to give some advice to I'm seeing a lot of 20 to 25-year-old business owners coming through at the moment, really successful, driven, excited human beings. But what's the best piece of advice that you could give to someone that's just starting out in business and is in the enthusiasm, but also in the grind stage where it's, hand over fist trying to make ends meet?
You can't do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Identify as quick as you can what you're best at. Delegate the rest. I know that we say we need to wear all the hats when we start a business because we can't afford to. Yeah. But it kills us when we try and do everything. So we've got to capitalise on the things we're best at.
Yeah.
If you're best at winning the sale, find someone that can process the project like I used to do. Win it, throw it over the fence, get someone else to do the work.
Yeah.
Or at least find someone that can help you do the work, because we can't do it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That would be my advice.
That's very good advice. Well, Dan, thanks very much
You're
for
welcome.
joining me today. You will find all of Dan's social media links and links to his website in the bio for the podcast. So look him up, and particularly if you've never encountered the Gallup Strength Finder process, Dan does some really interesting coaching around that kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks very much, Dan.
Very good. Thanks for having me.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Seriously Social. Check our website for the latest news, show notes, and for details about Simone's latest book, Confident Networker.